Hello and welcome to Books and Writers by Promocave. If you write books or you love books, this podcast is for you. Today we're going to explore writing and publishing part-time. And with me we have a very special guest today, Nicholas Tanek. Nicholas, how are you today?
I'm well, Jorge. Thank you. And Promocave is amazing and very cool. It's awesome. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Nicholas, tell us about the books that you have to start. Let's start with that so that people know a little bit more about you.
Okay. The first book that I wrote is called The Coolest Way to Kill Yourself. And don't let the title fool you. It's very, it really rattles some people, but it's a metaphor. And it's basically, I've been writing my whole life, I wrote screenplays when I was a kid. I just loved to write. Absolutely loved to write. And I'd write poems for girls, when I was a teenager. I was so silly, and very emotional. And I fell in love with a woman. I had a summer fling. Absolutely broke her heart. I was a dumb male, and I broke her heart, and I thought I could do better. And we went on our separate ways. And we both got married and had horrible marriages in the meantime. I got crazy involved with I was a punk rock skater kid who eventually got involved with the rave scene in New York City during the 90s. And we had a second chance. We got back together after everything. We both had abusive relationships. We both dealt with drug addiction and grasping drug addiction and depression and just all this really kind of insanity, that life has to offer. And we found each other again, and we had the most fulfilling relationship ever. Now, at the same time, she would always say that I always wrote for girls and for other women, and she would always think no one would write for me. I would get published. She wouldn't get published. I would get published. And she would always say, no one's going to write for me. So I wrote a book for the girl who thinks that no one would write anything for her. And she passed away in 2012, and I was absolutely devastated. It was during Hurricane Sandy in New Jersey, and with a generator, with no power in my house, and a generator, a gasoline-powered generator. During Hurricane Sandy, and I basically plugged in a laptop and wrote a book for her, and it's called The Coolest Way to Kill Yourself, and it deals with dealing with depression, and it deals with dealing with abuse, and it also deals with dealing with sexuality, because we explored sexuality and kink and the BDSM community and fetishes and stuff like that, and that really brought us closer because we were both kind of messed up on drugs, and we quit drugs and we got sober together, and we kind of dove into exploring fetishes and sexuality and writing as well, So the book is really, what I like to think is an exploration and, basically it says that, like, the power of writing and the wonderful aspect of writing where it, of creativity and just exploring creativity. So, I wrote this crazy honest book, brutally honest book, where, too much information many times about drugs, about sexuality, about everything, and I published it. I have this kind of crazy, wonderful following that I love, and I got a bunch of fans. And that's it. It's the coolest way to kill yourself is the love, meaning that I'm not going to care about what people think of me, and I'm going to be myself. I'm going to embrace my inner weirdo. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do what I want, and so I'm going to let it all out there, and whatever happens to me, it doesn't matter, because A, I'm being positive, and B, I'm being creative, and that was most important to me. So that inspired me to write a second book called Chip Black Nail Polish, which is a prequel to The Coolest Way to Kill Yourself. And that is more about the 1989 punk rock scene in New Jersey and New York. I met this, it's about the very first love of my life. The Coolest Way to Kill Yourself is about the love of my life. Her name is Lynn. And Chip Black Nail Polish is about the very, very first love of my life. Her name was Kim. And it's about collecting records and being a teenager. It's a coming age story. It's about getting wild, doing really dumb teenage stuff, yeah. So, and they're both out, and I'm proud of both of them, and I hope everyone reads them.
You wrote them part-time or full-time?
Oh, I wrote them part-time. I am, according to the I am a part-time writer. I am a corporate zombie during the day, and it's horrible, and I hate it. I'm a suit and tie guy, but all I could think about is writing these books. And I'm doing it now. Right now I'm writing another book, and it consumes me. It totally consumes me. I'm sitting at a desk, at a job, in a corporate office, and all I want to do is get back to the story. Even if I would rather edit. I would rather do the mundane task of grammar and proofreading and editing than to do my actual job that I make a lot of money at it. Well, not a lot of money, but money. Seriously, I would rather do that. I'd rather, because, and I've got a lot of friends, like my editor and a lot of people that I know. I don't shut up about my books and stuff like that, and they're really actually interested, which I love, which really, fills me with love and a feeling of, appreciation. And that's all I think about. So part-time, I'm a corporate zombie, just sleepwalking through life, As soon as I get home, I'm right in front of my computer on my, typing away.
I like that. I'd rather be editing instead of saying I'd rather be writing.
Yeah. I'd rather find, something wrong with a prepositional phrase or a dangling participle than do my actual job that helps me with health benefits.
I think a lot of writers, or most writers are. That's why I say sometimes you need to write and sell some books to continue your reading habit, because your writing habits, because that's what it is for a lot of people. That's what they want to do. It's a good habit, but it's a habit, right?
What's also cool about being a part-time, as you say, a part-time writer, is the fact that I'm not depending on it to make money. So therefore, I'm proud of the fact that what I write is from the heart and is real, and I'm not trying to make money from it. So I consider it, this is going to sound really corny, but I consider it a piece of art. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to just gain readers. I'm not trying to sell books. I'm trying to just do something cool and do something that people feel. You know what I mean? So when you take the money out of it, you take the livelihood out of it, it makes it different. It really does. It makes the product different,
Oh, yes, it does. And do you write short stories or something else, or are you always writing books?
Well, excuse me, sorry. Of course, I've written poetry, I've written short stories and stuff like that. I'm not going to publish any of them. A lot of the stuff that I write right off the bat, I'll tell you flat out, it's not worth publishing. It's the thing that you work on and that you're so passionate about, that you work with an editor, that you work with, my editor, Melissa Blair is my editor. She's awesome, and she will work hard, and she'll make sure I don't look like a fool. You know what I mean? You need people like that in your life, and it's those things, those projects that you work on that you just work on like week after week, and even if it's just one day out of every week, and you just keep working at it, and you just make it better and better and better. You know, those are the things that are worth it. Sure, yeah, I wrote short stories. I wrote a bunch of poetry. I wrote screenplays. But you know what? I'm scared that they'll ever get out, ever.
And how about publishing?
So yeah, I'm sorry.
How about with publishing? What road did you take with publishing? Self-publishing? Did you try to get an agent? What was your way?
It's funny. I kind of took the indie route. I took the indie route because I wanted to own it, and I wanted to be myself. And a lot of the themes of my work is about being yourself. So I went through Outskirts, honestly, not because they're like the greatest publisher or the greatest self-publishing ever. Like, I don't know. I have issues with them too, but they let me do whatever the hell I want. That's important. So it's like they made me have creative freedom, but yet they're careful enough so I don't get in trouble. Because a lot of the stuff I do is about sex and about drugs, and that's just because I lived my life with a lot of sex and drugs. And there's legal aspects, there's legal repercussions to that. So I just wanted to, I wanted them to handle it. A bunch of lawyers, to handle it. So, yeah, it's okay. Okay, great, we'll publish it. Wonderful. And they make it look good. I think my books look good in an aesthetic way. If you hold my book in your hand, I think it's a cool looking book. You know what I mean? It's different. It's odd. It's just different, and I like that. So, a friend of mine basically said you should try this place. They're easy. All you do is just pay them a little money just to put it out, and you own it, and then you just let it go. And like I said, I'm not writing books for money or profit. I'm writing for creativity and trying to promote creativity and hopefully, I don't know, hopefully have readers just kind of do something cool.
Did they provide your editor, the one you're using, or did you find your editor?
Oh, no. My editor, Melissa, is someone I met off of FetLife.com, which is a BDSM fetish website. Yeah. Yeah. And she writes erotica, and she likes, and she does this out of passion. She does it out of love. She's got a book coming out that I'm helping her with, helping her edit. And she is amazing in the fact that she deals with all my bullshit. Oh, sorry, I don't know if I can curse on this. But she's amazing, in the fact that, like, she will go over every line to make sure everything's grammatically correct, to make sure I don't look like a fool, she'll take, yeah, you should take this out, you should add this, or what about this, So it's a collaborative, creative effort, which makes it so much fun. Seriously, which makes it so much fun. Like, some of my greatest, or my greatest memories are editing stuff, or just editing work with, if it wasn't with her, it was with someone else. It's like just being around creative people and being around writers, and let me put an example. Creative writing class. I used to hate it. Because it's all criticism. It's like, in this scene he's wearing a hat, and this other scene he's not. What's up with that? What are you talking about? And also as a writer, you're very sensitive, and I grew to accept criticism, whereas my editor is like, this is stupid, don't put this in. And so I'm like, okay, all right, I won't do that. And I'm better for it. The book is better for it. It's, as a writer, you got to take criticism, and Melissa, hardcore hardcore. And she's when she listens to this, I bet she's giggling.
Yeah, tell us about your reading habits. What do you read when you're writing, or do you read something specific to get inspired?
I have to admit, I kind of get tunnel vision. I surround myself with books. Right now, I'm reading The Confederacy of Dunces, and I've been reading that for like ever. Venus and Furs, The Story of O, a lot of Hunter S. Thompson. I like crazy kind of burnt out stuff. And also, I'm not really a spiritual person at all, but the Book of Peace by Richard Shannon is something that is really good just to meditate if you're in a very kind of esoteric, transcendental kind of mood, you know. I like that. But stuff like that is really gets and a lot of comedy. Patton Oswalt has a couple books out he's a comedian, very funny. Chris Gethard has a book out that's very funny. He's a comedian. Mark Maron has a book out. But also the extreme stuff. There's a French book called West Ma, which is about it's like Thelma and Louise on Angel Dust, of two women in France, and French sound like an idiot, and two women in France who feel marginalized, who just go out on this killing spree. You know, I don't know. I like stuff on the fringe. I like weird, different stuff. You know, not the typical. You know, not like, for example, romance. I see all these romance novels, and they're just exploiting. They're just not all of them, but some of them are just exploiting BDSM culture and fetish culture, and they're like getting paid. They're just racking up the dough, and it's insane because it's unbelievable. The stories are unbelievable. It's fantasy, like, that doesn't make sense in a way, you know. So, but you know what?
Do you schedule your reading time, or you just read when you want to?
Oh no, I read. I'm the kind of person like I read whenever I can. It's just think of it this way. I get on the internet. It's like not having Wi-Fi. Okay, and you're going around on your iPad, you know, or your iPhone, and it's like, oh, you got Wi-Fi? Oh, you're at a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts or a restaurant? Oh, I'm gonna get on Wi-Fi. Boom, that's when I can do it. You know what I mean? Not that I need Wi-Fi to read, but that's like the simile, so to say. It's like I do it whenever I can because it's just I'm busy.
Okay. How about the writing? Do you schedule your writing? Do you have goals, like 1,000 words a day or something?
Yeah. No, I don't schedule the 1,000 words a day, but what I do is like I'm really narcissistic about it, like hardcore. At 9 o'clock, I come home from work. I'll watch like an hour or something, you know, of something I missed. Like I watch like the Daily Show, Nightly Show at midnight, or I'll listen to the Best Show, which is the Best Show with Tom Sharpling or something like that, or you know, like I'll give myself an hour just to like kind of cool down, calm down. But when 9 o'clock hits, I'm like, I gotta do it. I have to do it. So I'll shut the door of my bedroom. I'll put I'll get a couple CDs or records or whatever, and I'll get myself in the mood, and I'll write till I'm like drunk on words. Seriously. And then I'll wake up the next morning with this hangover, right? With this like with this writing hangover, and I'll read what I wrote, and a lot of it will be garbage. A lot of it will be bad, you know? But it's fixable. It's fine. It's fixable because there's that heart in it, and I'll fix that. And, you know, and I'll do that like every night.
Wow. And did you write your novels in the traditional or the modern traditional of third person simple past?
I'm sorry, say it again?
With your writing, are you writing in third person simple past?
Oh no, all my books are in first person. All my books. See, here's the thing. All my books are in the first person, and they're about me and about my real experiences.
Okay.
And for legal reasons, I just change the names and say it's fiction. Yeah, it's fiction, sure.
I love it. So you're always the narrating your story in your book.
Yes. Because I tried to write fiction. I really did. Like, okay, what I'm writing now is about the New York, New Jersey fetish community. It's a BDSM fetish community, which is very sexual, obviously. And I tried to write, after I wrote The Coolest Way to Kill Yourself, I tried to write something fictional, and it's just, the heart's not there. Okay. Like, for me, I know, like, I have to write, I feel that the only way is to write from my experiences, and that's why Hunter S. Thompson's an interesting author, because he's a journalist, but he puts himself into the story all the time. You know what I mean? And so it makes you feel like you're there with him, hanging out, dealing with whatever he's covering, and that's what I like, because I connect with that, because it sounds like you're a member of the party that's going on, and you're in this cool party. You know? So yeah, so everything I write ever is going to be in the first person, and if I don't, it's probably going to be garbage.
Have you experimented with something else? Have you tried? Oh yeah, and I failed miserably. So it's important to know what you're good at. Oh yeah. All right. Well, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're awesome, Jorge. You're the coolest. Seriously.
And where
can you're doing a good thing. No, listen to me. You're doing a great thing for authors and for podcasting, and I support you, and I will do everything I can to spread the word about this.
Hey, I love it. Thank you very much. This has been Jorge Olson. With me today, my special guest, Nicholas Tanek. I know your time is valuable, and I am very grateful that you decided to spend it with us. Thank you. Until next time. Bye.